Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I have a book to talk to you all about, and it's a book that I did not anticipate having a whole lot of thoughts on, but here we are. So the book that I wanted to talk to you about today is We Kept Her in the Cellar by W.R. Can I remember this author's name? Hold on, I've got this. W.R. You guys can see it, I can't. I can't remember. Oh, okay. It's right here. I'm a terrible person. I even tried to look up this author on like Instagram so that I could tag them in the review that I'm going to post on there, and I couldn't find them. And apparently that means the name is not going to stick out in my memory. But what are you going to do? So yeah, this is the book that I'm talking about today. We Kept Her in the Cellar. This is a horror novel that comes out today, September 24th, and I read it on a whim. I got an audio arc of it on NetGalley. I saw it, the cover called out to me. I was like, sure, this sounds kind of interesting. So I checked it out. And when I tell you that this book blew my mind and all my expectations out of the water, like, what the heck? So let me tell you what this book is about. So this is a Cinderella retelling, reimagining, and it's horror, obviously. But we are getting the story from the perspective of one of the stepsisters, Eunice. And she is young at the start of this book. I think she's like 12 or something like that. And her mother is remarrying after her father died. And her new stepfather obviously has a daughter named Cinderella. And they meet, and we discover that Cinderella is not normal. You find out a lot more about that as the story goes on, but she's a cosmic horror type monster. Like, she's not normal, but she is under the guise of a human. So essentially, they have to get married, not Cinderella and the stepsister, wow, but her mother and Cinderella's father. They have to get married due to a few different circumstances. They get married, and they keep Cinderella in the cellar under their house. And things go from there. But this is like I said, a retelling of that story from the stepsister's perspective, and it goes from there to, you get quite a bit of time there, and then it skips ahead to the future when they're a little bit older, around 18, and you get the traditional, quote-unquote, Cinderella story of the ball and all that jazz. This book was insane, though, you guys. So first of all, you might think from the description of this novel that, one, it is a YA book, because you've got a 12-year-old character and then an 18-year-old character. But my God, if I had read this when I was, a YA age person, I don't know if I would have survived, because this book was so unhinged, you guys. I don't know if I'm accurately displaying to you the level of the massacre that went on in my head. I was listening to this audiobook while driving, and there came a moment where I paused my audiobook and I went, no, and I had to just sit there and like toughen up a little bit, be like, okay, just get through this chapter. And then I pressed play, and I got about 30 seconds further, and I had to pause it again and just breathe for a second. And I finally muscled my way through the chapter. It's that type of book. Like, the body horror in this is unreal at moments, and I loved it. Like, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that I loved it, but I really did. It was so wild. Yeah, this book is really, really good. Not only is like the horror aspects, the intensity, the suspense, the grittiness of it is quite gruesome. Not only is that just so compelling, I thought that the story was so smoothly told. Like, it is a retelling, so obviously like there's some familiarity with like the story beats and things like that, but this story manages to be extremely fresh and surprising, while also just being like the most familiar and smooth reading experience ever. Like, the whole thing, it was like the story was writing itself, which I know it didn't. The author obviously put so much work and thought and creativity and time into this book, but as I was reading, I was just like, this book just makes sense. Like, and as I was reading it, I was also like thinking about Cinderella, like the story that we all know, and I was just like, was Cinderella really a monster the whole time? Like, I'm geeking out here, guys. This book was so much fun. Like, I had such a blast with it. There were numerous moments where I gasped and I was on the edge of my seat and I was just so enthralled with it. This book completely took me by surprise, and that's why I'm making it its own video. I'm also going to be doing a, new and recent horror releases video for the month of October, September, that time frame. But this book deserved its own video because I was so surprised. Like, this is a debut novel as well. I cannot tell you how unassuming I was about this book. I entered into it thinking I would enjoy myself, but I assumed it would be like a 3.5 to 4 star, just because that's like my typical standard rating unless something really amazes me. And this book amazed me. It really, really did. I had a blast with it, like front to back. It was a good time. And I am so eager to see what this author writes next, despite the fact that I cannot remember her last name. I do know that her first name is Wendy, even though it's like the W, etc. for the author name. But yes, I'm so eager to see what this author writes next. I enjoyed this so thoroughly. You guys, if you have a strong stomach, if you like horror that has a really great story, is full of surprises, and is a little bit unhinged, check this book out, you guys. Like I said, it is out today, September 24th. You can get it on ebook, physical book, or audiobook. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much to the publishers, Crooked Lane Books and NetGalley, for the audio copy. I'm so grateful. It was so much fun. One of the best horror books I've read this year, and it was a blast. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment letting me know if this is a book that you would be interested in. I highly recommend it. Again, be prepared because there is some pretty grotesque stuff that happens in it, but it is just a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.